Welcome to the Life with Joey Calvo podcast. I am Joey Calvo. Um, we decided to do this a little early from the PhillyCAM studios because my original guest um, canceled. So we're going to take this episode that's going to be on PhillyCAM TV as well as live on YouTube. And I'm just going to ramble, quote unquote. Now, the last episode that I did rambling 2 episodes ago, was about who I am and, what I'm looking for in a relationship and why I don't deserve a relationship. And then last episode, I had Xavier Roman come on. He'll be back on in about a month. And Xavier Roman is a mind reader, and I put him to the test. I really put him to the test, and so I now know that I'm at war with myself, and I've been at war with myself for years, but it really came out. So you got to watch that episode because you'll hear everything out of me, almost everything. And what led to why this is all going on. So this episode, I figured, like I said, I originally would have had a guest on. We would be talking, but they canceled. So I'm going to give you the list of upcoming guests that are going to come on. Now, for those that are on PhillyCAM, that are watching this on PhillyCAM TV, okay, you'll be able, if you have any questions, okay, that of a show, of an episode that you want questions to answer, go to the Life with Joey Calvo YouTube channel, which is on the screen. Click the live section, and then the show that you have a question for. Once I see that question, I will get in touch with the guest. Now, if it's a previous guest that I can't get a hold of, I'll let you know. But if it's a previous guest, since we've been on PhillyCAM TV in May, reach out. Like I said, I'll get to that person. They'll get back to me with the answer, or if they have access, they can come out to the actual link itself and answer you directly. But most of the episodes we've done so far are more explainable. So there's probably rarely any questions. So also I introduced you, I've introduced you to the podcast's number one fan, number one supporter, and real life superheroine. And her name is American Fox. There she is. And I said 2 episodes ago that you, the audience, are the actual host of this podcast. It's not me. Yeah, it's Life with Joey Calvo, but it should be Life in quotes with Joey Calvo. But I'm more of a moderator than a host. So, this is where you, the audience, and the viewers come and put your questions in. Okay? When you put your questions in, you're the host. You're the one, that's got, the power right there. Okay? You have the power with your questions for the guests. Now, if you have questions for American Fox, throw them in there too. 9 times out of 10, she'll answer them. And who knows, one day she may actually pop up on here and actually give the questions herself. But she is this podcast's #1 fan, #1 supporter. She's a real life superheroine. And she has been your voice of this podcast. She has been your voice. Okay. So will she continue to have questions? My direct answer right now is yes. Because she's got questions. Believe me, I've got them. But if you have questions, like I said, come to the YouTube channel after it airs on PhillyCAM TV, or once it goes on YouTube. Ask your question on the YouTube channel, and like I said, I'll get it answered. Now, like I said, I have all these guests coming up. This is going to be a very busy. Hopefully, it's going to be a very busy summer, and we're going to have a lot of episodes that it's going to take us right to the end of the year. Matter of fact, yeah. As of right now, we have 17 episodes in. This is episode 18 on PhillyCAM TV. And hopefully by the end, probably by the end of the year, I wouldn't be surprised if we have episodes to the end of the year. We're going to find out as soon as possible. So, but definitely, like I said, if you have any questions, come to the Life with Joey Calvo YouTube channel. Click on the live. Click on the episode in particular. And like I said, we'll get it answered. If it's a question for American Fox, put it in the comments. Now, another thing I have to be careful of, because PhillyCAM TV is matter of fact, before we go further, and well, by the time this airs on PhillyCAM TV, their membership drive or their fundraising drive will be over. But if you really want to support PhillyCAM for everything they do, you can go to PhillyCAM.org. And when you go to PhillyCAM.org, if you want to support them, click on Make a Donation. Yep. Got to close out my phone a minute. Sorry about that, folks. So I figured So if you want to support PhillyCAM, go for it. Literally, go for it. Go to PhillyCAM.org, click donate, and I apologize for being silent for a minute at the same time. But there we go. But definitely help support PhillyCAM for everything they do, because without PhillyCAM, we wouldn't be in the studio right now. And all these new play toys. Still kind of new to me, but I'm starting to pick it up a little bit. But definitely check it out. Or if you live in the Philadelphia area, you want to learn more about PhillyCAM and what they do. Like I said, go to the website. Now, in reference to what else we're doing, by the time this airs, we will be starting the process of going on to WPPM LP, which is the radio station here at PhillyCAM. So we're going to hopefully get on radio. But at the same time, and I actually forgot. Let me put that on. There we go. Also, you can support this podcast. So on the bottom, we had our awesome ticker. And in the ticker, there's a lot of information that I help share. And one of them is actually about how you can support the podcast. Okay. So there's a lot going on. And how you could be a part of it. Okay. So I have, former guests that been on. Actually, they're all former guests except for one. But you definitely got to check them out. So, like I said, this podcast is supposed to be upcoming guests, and I'm talking about past guests, and of course, American Fox. But like I said, American Fox has been your voice on this podcast in reference to it. So, like I said, you, the viewer, if you're watching on PhillyCAM TV or you're on YouTube and you're looking at this through the YouTube channel, when you put a comment in, okay, or you wind up with a question afterwards, you're part of this podcast. Okay. You're part of this podcast. I'm just the moderator, quote unquote, through this. Okay. So I'm just the moderator in reference to it. Like I said, American Fox has been your voice when it comes to the questions. So that's why it feels like she's the real host right now, but she's you guys. She's you, the viewer, watching either on YouTube or PhillyCAM TV. So, like I said, she's going to have questions. And believe me, I've seen them. Okay. She sends me the questions right away for the guests that come up. Now, when this does get on radio, when this does get on WPPM LP, we're going to go really off the wall. Because that I can say we'll have episodes for the rest of the year for that, in reference to it. So, I'm going to be reaching out probably next week to start the process of getting this podcast on WPPM LP. But if you want, like I said, help support PhillyCAM for everything they're doing. I mean, they've been great to me so far. And so you definitely, it's worth the support. And also, like I said, I do have on the bottom, in the ticker, you can help support the podcast. Okay. And matter of fact, it's right there right now as I'm getting ready to say it. So because what I want to do now is we started in Philly. Let's get it out of, I mean, with YouTube, yes, it's worldwide, but let's get it in radio stations across the country. So if you go to the link that's on the bottom with the ticker, every bit helps. All right, so upcoming guests. So we're gonna have summer's gonna start out. Summer's gonna be awesome here. So first, we're gonna have. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go one step for now because it's gonna be too tedious. But next episode is gonna be with Randall Alifano, and we're gonna be talking in reference to that. Now, the next time in this studio will be next 2 episodes from now. We're going to be speaking with Toni Akin. And give me a moment. Let me see if I have something here that I can go off of in reference to Toni. But we are going to do that from here at PhillyCAM. So, okay. So definitely, what I would suggest in reference to, like I said, to questions that you may have after it airs on PhillyCAM TV, come be a subscriber to the Life with Joey Calvo YouTube channel. And the reason why I say that is this. When you subscribe to the Life with Joey Calvo YouTube channel and you click on the notifications, you get a message when I'm getting ready to do a live podcast. Okay. So that way you got that step right there. So you can click on there and boom, you're going to be part of the podcast. Now, in reference to, like I said, we're going to have Randall Alifano next episode. 2 episodes. We're going to be back here in the PhillyCAM studios in Old City, Philadelphia. Now I'm going to take this out of here. There we go. And we're going to have Toni Akin on the podcast. And then next episode after that, we're going to have Nadege Saysana. Like I said, it would be a lot right now for me to go through everything of who these people are. So I'm just going to, like I said, tell you who they are and, go from there. So, I said Randall Alifano next episode, 2 episodes here at the PhillyCAM studio. It's going to be with Toni, Akin. Nadege, Saysana will be that. Next one after that. We're going to have Dennis Dowdell. He'll be on. And then we're going to have Stephen Kubacki. And like I said, there's so much. Like I said, now, if you come onto the Life with Joey Calvo YouTube channel, you'll see the actual dates and times they will be on. Okay. In reference to, and like I said, subscribe to the YouTube channel, click on notifications. That way, when it's live, you come on, you can be part of this podcast like American Fox and, give your say, give your questions. Okay. And then the episode after that is going to be with Eric G. Reid. And then we have Kijuan, Amey. And then Aleta Hunt will be next after that. Now, ten episodes. Now we're going to be like 10 episodes ahead in reference. Actually, 12. Okay, 12 episodes. 12. 11 or 12. We had Dr. Gary Sprouse on the podcast earlier, and we had a very interesting discussion. So he's willing to come back on, and also these last 2 podcasts, I will definitely say, is gonna be they're a lot of me, like I said, came out. So Dr. Gary Sprouse will be back on soon. And we're going to continue where we left off with all the, all the guilt and everything that's in me. I apologize, folks. I have sleep apnea, so I have trouble sleeping. So sometimes it catches up with me. So after Dr. Gary Sprouse comes on, and we have a second episode with him, we're going to have Soubhik Dawn. Okay. And then after Soubhik Dawn, we're going to have Dr. Clete Bulach. Now, hopefully, we'll have an episode with Dr. Clete Bulach because the last time we had some issues. After that, we have Karen Goeller. And then we're going to go across the pond to jolly old England in the UK. And we're going to speak with Anthony Lindsay. Okay. And then Xavier Roman will be back. We're going to continue the session from the last episode where everything came out, and I realized I'm at war with myself inside, and it's affecting everything. And we still got about 30 minutes to go. So that's the episodes that are coming up. We got Randall Alifano, Toni Akin, Nadege Saysana, Dennis Dowdell, Stephen Kubacki, Eric G. Reid, Kijuan Amey, Aleta Hunt, Dr. Gary Sprouse back again. And we're, as like I said, we're going to continue that. We're going to have Soubhik Dawn, Dr. Clete Bulach, Karen Goeller, Anthony Lindsay, and the continuation of the last episode with Xavier Roman. Now that's going to be very, very mind blown. Who knows what's going to happen between what happened with that last episode and that episode coming up with Xavier soon. Now, like I said, if you have questions even about this amazing person, there we go, American Fox. If you have questions for her even, come to the Life with Joey Calvo YouTube channel, select the episode, and leave your question. And we will get it out to her. And as we get it out to her, we will be able to get it answered for you. And if it's something she can't answer, we will let you know. But I will say that American Fox is one of the greatest people you'll ever meet, ever. She is, like I said, the podcast #1 fan. She's #1 supporter. Okay. She's been your voice on this podcast. Okay. She's been your voice through all of this. All right. So, what I'm saying to you is this. If you're into Wonder Woman, like we both are, and you like Linda Carter as the original Wonder Woman, like we do, and you want to get to know American Fox and maybe chat superheroine with with her, reach out to me. I'll reach out to her about it, and then we'll get it from there, and we'll see how that could work out. Okay. I mean, she is like Wonder Woman. American Fox is like Wonder Woman, minus the lasso. But there's going to be a lot you want to know about her. And one day, okay, we may get her on this podcast for her own and let her explain who she is more to you. I mean, all I can say is, she's at Amazon like Wonder Woman. She's got her strengths. She's got her weakness. Right now, the really big weakness is her heart. Because, I put her through a lot and stressed her out and everything. So, definitely, and when I said a couple episodes ago about how I dissolved friendships, American Fox and I are not really friends anymore, believe it or not. But she's always And believe me, she will always be this podcast's number one friend, number one supporter. Okay. And like I said, she's a real life superheroine. So, criminals beware. Because she can kick your ass. And then ask questions later. But definitely, not only is she, like I said, a real life superheroine, fights crime. She's American Fox 24/7, no secret identity. Okay. No secret identity whatsoever. American Fox 24/7. She is this podcast's number one fan, number one supporter. She has been more the foundation of this podcast, to be honest with you, folks. Okay. Not only has she been your voice, she's the reason why this podcast still exists, believe it or not. Okay. So if you really don't like this podcast, that's on you. Okay. That's on you. Because if it wasn't for American Fox, this podcast would not have made it on PhillyCAM TV. And I really do thank PhillyCAM TV for the opportunity to actually be part of their programming. And I don't get reports. I'm not going to know how how it was error wise. I mean, I will get my comments about the programming, if anything. But that's about it. But I will tell you, American Fox was the one that did this. American Fox was the one that gave me the chutzpah and the confidence to even get myself in the door here to the studio. Okay. To get myself into this studio, into this new direction, I call it. Okay. This was American Fox's doing. So believe me, I thank her head to toe. And believe me, there's times I'd like to see her in person and really show her how much I appreciate everything she does. Okay. She right now is your voice of this podcast. Okay. She's your voice when it comes to the guests. She's your voice in what you might want to learn. Okay. Do we need more people like American Fox? Oh, heck yeah. That's why I say to you folks, you viewers on PhillyCAM TV, after these episodes air and you have a question or you want to know more, come to the Life with Joey Calvo YouTube channel, like I said, and there's the link. Click on the live, and then the episode, like, if it's with Donna Quisenberry or A.L. Brooks and J.R. Hatcher, you have questions about their book, or you have questions for Tabitha Winters, or for those that live in Philly and you have comments for Jim Donovan, former CBS Philadelphia anchor, go to the live, click on Life with Jim Donovan. Okay. And put your question in. Okay. Because I will see the comments. And when I see the comments, then I will pass it along. Like I said, if you even have questions for American Fox, okay, and why she's your voice, you can even leave it on this one where it says this episode of upcoming guests. It will come back to American Fox. Okay. She will if you, like I said, if you have a question, give it to her. She'll answer it the best she can. Or she may even come out here and answer it herself for you. But believe me, I know you guys enjoy seeing American Fox on the screen. Okay. I can say that. Because when she is on the screen, it turns out awesome. Lots of views, etc. So, definitely, we need more people like American Fox. Bring your opinions out. Bring your questions out for these guests. And I'm going to say this. I tell the guests, let your social media know when you're going to be on. And here's the link. So that way they can come on to the channel in the live section. And if you subscribe to the Life with Joey Calvo YouTube channel and you click the notifications, you'll get a notification when this podcast comes on live. And that way you can be a part of it. Okay. I mean, like I said, we've had guests on where we've had a few viewers come on and actually ask questions. We had, matter of fact, I would love to have them back on again. Okay. There's a band called Sepsis. Okay. I mean, they've got awesome music, really grunge type music. Okay. Rock and roll. I had them on, and I mean, the viewership watching that day was through the roof. Okay. It was literally through the roof. Now, in reference to views, okay, right now, with the exception since it's been on PhillyCAM TV, I did a 15-minute podcast with a young lady from Kuala Lumpur. 15 minutes. And that podcast on YouTube alone has over 1,600 views. Okay. So, would I like that? Excuse me. Sorry. Would I like to get her back on the podcast? It's a thought. Introduce her to Philadelphia? Yeah, we could do that. I could talk to her about it again and we could see what we could do. And, she may have more to bring out than that last time. And like I said, we only did 15 minutes, but got 1,600 views. Okay. And I will say, when American Fox is on the screen, Okay. And a podcast just comes out. I mean, it's a little slow, but we wind up getting like 40, 50 views when American Fox is on the screen. So if you really want a great friend to get to know, there you go. It's American Fox. Because American Fox, like I said, is this podcast's actual number one fan, number one supporter. She's the foundation to this podcast. Okay? I can't stress that enough. She is the foundation to this podcast because if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't be here on PhillyCAM TV. Okay? Podcast would have been over with a long time ago. Okay? And you would, I mean, there's lots of other podcasts you can watch, you know, but how many of them have a real life superheroine as your foundation? I don't think Joe Rogan has. And yeah, he gets $250 million a year or whatever the contract is. We have American Fox. Can't get any better than that. You really can't. Okay. Now, when we get to the radio, then I may be able to do it to where we're going to have live guests on and to where you could actually, you know, really be a part of it. Will it still be on YouTube? Of course. Will it still be on PhillyCAM TV? Of course. Okay. But definitely, most definitely, know that you, the audience, are the host of this podcast. Okay. Right now, like I said, American Fox is your voice of the podcast. So if you have questions for her, hey, leave them. Leave a comment of a question and we will get it to her. And hopefully she'll answer it for you. Okay. Hopefully one day American Fox comes on this podcast and becomes a co-host to me. Okay. Because when she has questions, she's your voice. Okay. She is your voice. She will do what it takes to bring out the best of the guests. And I will say it. She does. Okay. It may not show on YouTube, but I'm going to say to the PhillyCAM TV viewers, if you really think that she makes a difference for you, I want to know. I really, really want to know. Leave a comment. Doesn't matter if it's this podcast of upcoming guests or any podcast that she's involved with. Okay. Leave the comments. Because I will make sure that she gets that message about it. Okay. Because, like I said, if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't be where we're at right now. We wouldn't be in a studio, an actual studio, recording these podcasts for you. We wouldn't get the opportunity to possibly go on radio here in Philadelphia. Okay? That's American Fox. And like I said, she's your voice. All right? She is your voice. All right? So I'm going to go through the guests again since I killed enough time. But American Fox is going to be part of this podcast as your voice for right now until you decide to step up to the plate, come on the live stream on YouTube, and give your question. Then you become the host as well. Okay? Because I'm not saying I'm tired or, I don't have ideas what to do, like this. I mean, I figure something, even if I have to put myself down for an hour. Okay? Which I'll tell you right now, if American Fox was here and she said she hears me saying that, okay, you think I'd be around right now? She'd be kicking my ass left and right. And then give me the lectures. Okay? She'd be kicking my ass left and right and still give lectures right after that. So, you want to be like an American Fox. You want to be a part of this podcast. Let's hear your voice. Okay? Go to the Life with Joey Calvo YouTube channel. Comment if you have a question or anything. Boom. So, again, coming up on this podcast during the summer, we're going to have Randall Alifano, Toni Akin, Nadege Saysana, Dennis Dowdell, Stephen Kubacki, Eric G. Reid, Kijuan Amey, Aleta Hunt, Dr. Gary Sprouse is coming back on the podcast as well. Soubhik Dawn, Dr. Clete Bulach, hopefully, Karen Goeller. We're gonna go across the river. We're gonna go across the ocean with Anthony Lindsay, and then Xavier Roman's coming back. Another session. We're gonna see how we're gonna put a little more detail into the war within myself that is hurting a lot of people. And you definitely have to watch that episode, which was the last one we just did before today. And when he comes back on for round 2, hopefully we'll have different stories within the war of things that might have changed during that time. I did reach out to him after the episode and let him know that things didn't get much better because I was feeling a lot more stuff coming around. And I mean, it got to the point where, folks, I walked out of McDonald's and threw up. That's how much of a war I'm in with myself. That pressure that I felt after the episode, okay? And I'm throwing up from McDonald's. Okay? So, hopefully today I won't be after this podcast. Hopefully it won't be like that again. But I will definitely say that you should be a part of this podcast. Okay. We need more than just American Fox being a part of this podcast. Okay. We need your voice, your questions, your hosting. Okay. Definitely need you in it because it can't be done without you. Okay. Like I said, American Fox is this podcast number one fan, number one supporter, and she is a real life superheroine. And like I said, in reference to right now, I will, like I said, I will definitely say that she would be kicking my ass right now and then asking questions. Okay. Um, Now I'm just checking my email real quick. Um, and this is a shock. Um, if this is who I think it is, this is a shock to the system, folks. Um, I mean, I know here at PhillyCAM, they've taken a huge loss, but I think what I'm about to come up with, and this is episode, this episode airing, later on in the summer. Um, yep, there we go. This is a shock in the sports world. And I'm just finding this out now. Um, as we're doing this podcast. So, but let me go through the guests one last time as we're figuring this out. Okay. So, coming up on the podcast, we're going to have Randall Alifano, Toni Akin, Nadege and Saysana. There we go. Dennis Dowdell, Stephen Kubacki, Eric G. Reid, Kijuan Amey, Aleta Hunt, Dr. Gary Sprouse will be coming back on. Okay. Soubhik Dawn, Dr. Clete Bulach, Karen Goeller, Anthony Lindsay, and of course, Xavier Roman will be back on as well. And we're going to continue the war. Like I said, this is airing later on, but hockey icon Claude Lemieux has passed away at the age of 60. And he's a 4-time Stanley Cup winning NHL player. I mean, being from New Jersey, I remember when he played for New Jersey Devils. There we go. But he also played with the Montreal Canadiens, the Colorado Avalanche, Phoenix Coyotes, Dallas Stars, and San Jose Sharks. He committed suicide at the age of 60. And they found him in a rear warehouse of the business that they started forming. And in reference to this, and I will tell you that I've had people actually have suicide prevention called on me. But if you know anyone, and I really, if you know anybody who really needs help, okay, and they don't, they don't have someone to turn to. First of all, be that support. Really be that support. I learned that. Okay. Call 988 or have them call 988. Okay. Because somebody will be there to help them. I didn't call them because I have people that are there for me. Okay. So, Claude Lemieux, rest in peace. And thank you, everybody, for watching the Life with Joey Calvo podcast. God bless you all.